My pockets were empty with no job in LA. It was time to book. Credit card bills were piling with no place to look for help. By that time, I was a grown-ass man. Pops instructed me to always have a plan. Decidedly, I moved to South Korea, that Asian country. See, as a child, I learned Taekwondo, used chopsticks, and had a predilection for eating kimchi. So instinctively, I traveled to Korea where the Koreans said, teach English to me. 영어를 배웁시다. Teaching English became my job. Come to find out, October 9th is a Korean national holiday. And why do I mention 10-9, you ask? Well, 10-9 is my birthday. Now, even though I was seated in row 10 on the Korea Train Express and the ferry route was 10-9 from Korea to Japan, and when I landed there, I was ushered to seat 10 at the Japanese restaurant, I continued to find myself assigned to these numbers again and again around the globe. These instances continue in Peru, Cuba, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, and more. 10-9 was on my mind. I was fine, I thought, until I started to awake at 10:09 on the dot. Multiple times, then it hit me. These numbers strangely keep coming to visit me. Those familiar numbers were also linked to my university class, which I thought was assigned randomly. I once learned about Ethiopian history at Addis Ababa University. There I went to the bathroom on the second floor, only to eerily be befuddled to find 10-9 written on the door. My cousin Anwar told me that I can connect with Inca spirits in Peru. Atop Machu Picchu, my watch struck 10:09, which is how I knew that these 10-9 coincidences were spiritual encounters and that what Anwar said was true. In Havana, Cuba, Ernesto Guevara de la Serna visited me while reading his book. I felt shook to learn about Revolutionary Che's life. I read that he was captured on October 8th and killed on 10-9. Then, in Saudi Arabia, I hailed a cab, and when it came near, the license plate started with 10-9, and it had me feeling weird. If anything, I can say this cab was rare, but I told myself, have no fear. I also told my friend Rochelle, I keep encountering the same numbers, I swear. She replied, boy, don't you know you can find those numbers anywhere? After my visit to the Apple store, I started to believe her since every device is set to the same score. But after the first international trip you take, you find that the first friend you make shares the same birthday. It makes you wonder anyway. And March 31st of last year, I was a wreck. I felt sad, homesick. I wanted to be back in LA, but I was thousands of miles away. To make matters worse, en route to work, a truck cut me off. That memory is stuck because I was utterly surprised to find that that truck's license plate started with 10-9. 7 days thereafter, again on my way to work, I looked up in the sky. Don't ask me why. I saw intersecting lines, the sight of which left me at a word loss, because those lines that had never appeared before or after that day had intersected to form a cross. What does it all mean? Well, you see, March 31st was the day the world lost Nipsey. And if you were in LA when Nipsey died, here's a revelation. You probably didn't know that that same week, Muslims around the world were celebrating Muhammad's ascension to heaven. And may peace be upon him. What do I make of these coincidences? You guessed it. Nipsey was Jesus, and 10-9 were signs preparing me to decipher events like Moses and the burning bush. And who does that make me? Joseph or maybe Saul of Tarsus? Nah, I'm just an American black man from LA with international experience who speaks 3 languages, and after teaching, English abroad, and traveling to 36 countries, I understand things from a historical perspective which helps me see things more clearly. But I must say, it's still not easy finding a job in LA.